So what social media does is it gives you these quick dopamine hits, these quick rewards for your brain at artificially high levels. So then normal life doesn't feel good anymore. Simply going out in your backyard and looking at the birds, taking a walk, reading a book, or watching your kids play, you'll no longer have the motivation to do those things or find joy in them. This can be really dangerous because then we can start to feel depressed. Our brains have literally recalibrated to these very artificially high levels. And now real life isn't enough. And that's exactly what happened to me. The simple life that I wanted, the being a present and engaged mother, it was no longer enough for my brain. I couldn't feel joy and reward and motivation because those pathways have been hijacked and completely rewired. I wasn't myself anymore. Hi, I'm Janelle, homeschooling mom of 4 and integrative nutrition health coach. Your brain isn't broken. Your dopamine baseline has just been artificially inflated. This is why a dopamine detox is very, very important so you can start enjoying the life you've built again. The second way social media is weakening your brain is by stealing your mental capacity and leaving you nothing left. Stay with me on this one because this is something you've probably been blaming on yourself. Your brain has a limited cognitive supply for the day. Literally, you can only make so many decisions in one day. Every decision you make takes from that tank. Now, think what happens when you scroll, especially in the morning. Every single thing you see, you have to decide, do I want to read this? How does it make me feel? Do I want to like? Do I want to comment? Do I want to share? Then you could start thinking about and making decisions on whatever that content is actually about. How do I feel about this? What opinion do I want to form on this? And now with AI, we have to ask ourselves, thing we see, is this even real? And then we have to start analyzing photos and words and deciding if a post is even real. You are mentally depleting yourself and weakening your brain. And these are the same cognitive resources that you need for your everyday life that are being stolen away from you. So then when you think through, what do we need to do for the day? What does my toddler need in the moment? Why are they acting like this? What are we going to have for lunch and dinner? All of these decisions that our normal life takes, they're already gone. And this is why you can feel completely done for by noon. Like you can't handle one more person saying mom, one more person asking you a question, and it's only 11 or 12? What happened? And I'll be honest, I lived in that place for a long time because I was convinced of two things for years. One, I had to be on social media if I ever wanted a business. And two, I had to get up early in the morning and do it before the kids got up. So I was getting on social media for hours in the morning. And of course it wasn't all just work because I was getting distracted. And then by the time my kids woke up, I was spent. And it was not the mom that I wanted to be. So next time you're feeling tired and you decide you're going to scroll for a little bit to give yourself a break, please remember that your brain is actually still working really hard and you're only going to further deplete and exhaust yourself. Scrolling social media will absolutely not give your brain a break. The third part of your brain that is being weakened by social media every day is your nervous system. And this one might be the most damaging and least talked about. These platforms aren't passively entertaining you. They're engineering and rewiring your brain to react. They thrive on outrage, curiosity, fear, comparison, inspiration, and judgment. The algorithm studies what triggers an emotional response in you and feeds you more of it. It's on purpose. Not only that, platforms like Facebook are now paying normal everyday creators for their posts. And these creators realize that if they start a controversy where people are arguing in their comments, it makes them more money. And so they're literally going into Facebook groups, picking problems and saying controversial things to get you to fight with them so that they can cash a higher check. People are being paid to scare you and piss you off. And I hope that what I just said makes you angry and you decide this is enough, no more. I'm not going to let people play with my head like this anymore. When your brain is being constantly hit with these emotional triggers, your nervous system stays activated and on edge. And that's the energy you show up with to your family. You end up staying in that flight or fight mode all day. And again, when you think, oh, let me take a break, all you do is trigger yourself when you grab your phone. And you're training your brain to be reactive instead of strong, to be offended and sensitive instead of disciplined. Instead of patience and presence, you snap at people over small things. You get irritated and overwhelmed by the smallest things. Combine this with normal tasks not feeling motivating or rewarding. Combine this with the low cognitive capacity, and you have just completely weakened your entire brain and destroyed your entire life. And I remember being like this and snapping at my kids and having to constantly apologize. Social media doesn't just affect the mood you're in at the moment, it rewires your baseline state. And it can stay like this for good if you don't take action. Here's the good news. Just like social media can rewire your brain, you can also rewire your brain. The first thing is absolutely to stop scrolling. And in my next video, I'm going to talk about how I replaced scrolling with my children's hobbies. I needed an easy and enjoyable first step to stop scrolling. And the next thing I did was I really wanted to heal my brain after it being hijacked by social media. And after a decade of having children and sleepless nights and stress and all the overload that comes with being a mom. So what I did for you is I put that second half all in a brain guide for you. It'll be free in the description below. That is your full brain recovery guide, including habits, supplements, and I even threw in some recipes in there that are great for brain health. I will see you in that next video.